Granville.
Yeah, yeah. This is an interesting place to take a holiday to come out to the Comic-Con.
Yeah, well, I've not been. I've only been in the con. I've only been in the con for about a couple of hours, 2-3 hours every day.
Yeah, yeah. I assume you do. Do you still do a lot of these shows?
Conventions,
Yeah.
I was in not in America as much. I was in New York last year.
Yeah, for the New York Comic-Con.
But I do a lot in Europe, in Italy and France and places.
Is it a different experience over there?
Oh yeah.
How so?
They're a bit. I mean, I'm not saying they're totally uncommercial, but they're more of a cultural event.
Okay.
Than a commercial.
Sort of like an
event
art.
This. Yeah, there's usually art exhibitions and stuff like that.
It's interesting because it's especially with these larger ones, they don't really seem to be. They don't really embrace that aspect of things. Maybe there's a little bit of that on the fringes.
It's all about selling stuff here.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's a difference just in terms of American comics and British comics too, or just the sort of culture around it?
The way they're perceived, by the general public, I suppose.
Yeah. Why is that? Is it just because it's the superhero books out here?
Yeah, well, in Britain and America, Britain, the comic industry is really tiny.
Yeah.
It doesn't really exist. That's why most British writing artists doing work for America.
Yeah.
There's only a few British comics, but. So in Britain and America, the superhero genre really dominates.
Yeah.
Dominates it, whereas in Europe, whether any sort of genre or non-genre, things that anybody could read.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a fan of a particular kind of book.
Yeah. And it's sort of like a hypothetical question, but do you feel like if you had come up through the American comic book system that you would be doing more sort of superhero themed stuff?
I don't think so, because I grew up reading superhero comics in Britain.
Yeah.
And when I was about 8, I discovered Batman and Superman, read those. And in the 60s, the Marvel Renaissance started, and I follow all those, Jack Lee, Stan Kirby books, Gene Colan books. So I've read superhero comics all the time, been growing up. I don't tend to read them now. I tend to read other sort of books.
Is there a reason? Do you feel like they're just not as well written or not as interesting?
Well, they get a bit repetitive. I mean, there's a goodie and a baddie.
Yeah.
I mean, superheroes without a supervillain are useless. There's nothing they can do without a supervillain.
Yeah.
So here's a good guy, here's a bad guy. They have a fight, the good guy wins. Now, after reading them, when I think about 20 years ago, I suddenly realised I've been reading the same story over and over and again. And